more adaptive to the e-education, but the faculties are not, some faculties. So, but I think if only the faculties can accept this technology, students can use it. So how to Blackboard to promote these products or these platforms to the faculties to let them change their ideas, maybe by the training or some kind of things.
Well, most universities, including Georgetown, have outreach to faculty to make sure that they can get Blackboard training. Training, in fact, is not very popular among faculty. They don't really like to go to training courses. And so what's usually more effective is the outreach where someone, like Candles at Georgetown, would say, we have these options available to you for you to come in and talk to us about what you want to do to improve your courses, to improve the way you're teaching, and we can talk to you about a variety of technology solutions and best practices that could be applicable for your course, for your situation, for the problem you're trying to solve. And that's generally better received than training, but it requires the faculty to be proactive and to want to do that. And so one of the things that, and frankly, a lot of universities just don't have very good resources for that, especially because of funding cuts and other problems with providing the kind of staffing for that kind of best practices help. So what we as a company do is we use a lot of social media tools, blogs and tweets and other ways of just making it broadly known to the whole world. What are some of the cool things that you can do with Blackboard? And then we also have whole suites of materials online that are best practice videos, that are tips and tricks for doing things more efficiently and more effectively. Faculty love the things that save them time. So sometimes you can get a hook that way in terms of getting their attention, and then and then they're interested in exploring other ways they can improve their courses.
Okay. So the second part of the question is about the internal communication inside your organization. So first, would you please describe your personal communication experience within organization, such as the collaboration between you and the other employees, or ask for the work permissions from higher level positions? What kind of the media do you frequently use to do your daily jobs?
Okay. Well, one of the interesting things about Blackboard is that we actually have a very dispersed workforce. And so we have people who work for our company who work literally all over the world. We have offices in Phoenix, and San Francisco, and LA, and Boston, and New York, and Amsterdam, and literally all over the world. So whenever we are working on a project together, because we work a lot in teams. Most of our work is not done individually. Most of our work is done in teams. It's almost always the case that there's at least one person on that team who is not physically in the same office as you. So we're headquartered here in DC, so a lot of people do work here in DC. But we've gotten really good at using online collaboration tools for meetings, for documentation, for sharing ideas. For example, we use our own product, Collaborate, whenever we're in a meeting where we need to share something that other people can see. We're sharing a presentation, or we're, demoing something in the product that we're working on. We just use regular old voice conference lines for meetings. If we don't have something that we need to present, we use wikis for developing the resources that we use to document our work. So whether we're doing, market research or product requirements or specifications for how to build the product, all of that is done via wiki tools where we can all collaborate in how those resources get constructed, and we can comment on it, and there's a version history so you can go back and see who changed it when and all that kind of good stuff. And then just other things you would expect, like online ticket tracking systems and task management and whatnot.
So in this kind of the virtual team, so do you think it is hard or more easier for you to build the internal personal relationship with other people, as you just can meet each other in the virtual environment?
There are definitely some challenges. I mean, we're people like anyone else, and as people, we like to have a personal touch in the people that we work with. And so part of how we counter that, frankly, is just by providing opportunities to get together face-to-face. So my team, product management, is relatively small. We're 8 people, and we get together face-to-face probably about 4 times a year. And then that might be 2 or 3 days of meetings where we can really get that interaction going face-to-face, and then we're going to go out for dinner and drinks and get to know each other. But even big organizations like product development, which is over 200 people, they still have at least once a year opportunity where everyone gets together and has that kind of face-to-face discussions and interactions. Now, that said, we also get to know each other so for example, in the wiki, there's not only the places where we work, but there's also places where people can just share more personal things, like picture of the new puppy, or, what I did on the weekend, or things like that, so that there's that personal touch that's kind of woven in with the work materials as well.
Yeah, so you will, so people want to build a personal relationship even in the virtual environment, right?
Yes, certainly. I mean, I think there are probably some people who are happier sort of working as loners, but we tend to be a bunch of people who are much happier if we actually get to know each other and get along and like each other, and it's not just some sort of cold work environment. It's not like that at all.
Okay, so I want to ask, what's your opinion about the email? Because some people like or hate the email. They think email is not effective. People can just easily to ignore your email. So what's your opinion about this media?
Well, that's like saying, do you want a snack all day, or do you want a solid meal once in a while, right? It's not an either or. You can't, in my opinion, in a business environment, you can't do without the structure of relatively formal email communications. What's your replacement, right? You're not going to just chat with each other all day, because synchronous is not always practical, because you're in meetings or you're in different time zones or whatever. You can't just tweet at each other, because what I need to say is, I need more characters to say what I need to say, because it's substantive. You can't just put it in wiki, because so first of all, if you put it in a wiki, then you have to have some means of notifications to know what's new in the wiki, and how do you decide what to pay attention to in terms of notifications about what's new in the wiki. And it's actually much harder to organize that than it is to organize your email by flagging it and putting it in folders and prioritizing it. So I think that people who make those kinds of comments about email are making it from the perspective of personal, casual environments where formal, structured communications are not necessarily so important.
Yeah.
any environment, including a teaching and learning environment, where formal structured environments, formal structured communications that you might need to archive, communications where you might need a record of who has participated in that email thread. Email is not going to go away for those purposes.
Yeah, email is still important to done the job, right? Yeah.
Email is getting the job done.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't speak for everyone, obviously, but despite all of the interactive, collaborative tools that we use as teams to get our jobs done, I live out of Outlook, right? I organize my tasks based on emails that I've gotten. I prioritize them. I tag them. I have a checklist of these are the emails that I need to take care of today because this is my work, right?
Yeah. Do you have some multitask experience when you do your job? By saying the multitask experience, I mean maybe in the video conference you can just testing, or you can just write your email. Do you feel comfortable when you do this multi-communication or multitask things?
Yeah, I think it's inevitable, and there are good reasons for multitasking and there are bad reasons for multitasking, and it takes a certain amount of business maturity to be able to make those judgments well. So if you think, say for example you're in Collaborate and someone is giving a presentation and then there's a bunch of chatter going on in the back channel and you're kind of paying attention to that, and you're also paying attention to the presentation that's being shown, and you're paying attention to what the moderator is saying, I think that's a natural balance of multitasking, right? It's all things that are related to what's happening in that meeting or that class with that group of people.
Yeah.
When you branch off from that, so say for example there's something going on and you decide to open a different chat window to chat with one specific person. Well, that could be very appropriate because you could be that, I don't think the moderator got this point. Should we interrupt her to, so that could also be something that's another channel that you're paying attention to, but it's also related to the meeting at hand.
Yeah.
If you go over and you start booking a flight or emailing your mom or whatever, right? That's different. I mean,
that's different.
That's the same thing as if you were in a face-to-face meeting with people and you pulled out your cell phone and started talking to someone, right?
Yeah, that's different situation.
Right.
Okay. Will you describe the Blackboard as this organization as a more hierarchical one or more horizontal one? Do you think the organizational structure influence your media use or choices inside it?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think we're probably somewhat more progressive than other companies because we're a technology company, because we're a relatively young, agile company. I think that impacts the way we use technology internally.
Yeah. So as you said, yes, your company has more young people and more adaptive to these new technologies. So it is easier for you to adapt to this, this environment.
Yeah, I think that's definitely true. Then if you looked at a kind of a stodgy traditional law firm or something like that, you'd probably find a very different environment.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's all my questions. Okay, thanks very much for your time.
Well, this was fun, and I hope that you'll get some responses from the other people that I sent you emails for.
Yeah, also thanks for all these contact informations. Yeah, I will contact them. Yeah.
I happened to run into Stephanie Carrillo in the elevator today and mentioned it to her, and she said that she'd be very willing to help. So even though she's toward the end of that list, you might want to prioritize putting her toward the beginning of the list. Stephanie Carrillo.
Definitely. Okay.
Okay?
Okay, thanks very much. Have a nice day.
Good luck with your research.
Thanks. Okay, bye.
Yeah, bye.